"We're gonna need a bigger boat." This famous quote comes from one of the most influential movie directors. He is an American film director, screenwriter, producer, and businessman. Steven Spielberg was born in Cincinnati, Ohio on December 18, 1946. Spielberg had an early interest with cinema and began making amateur films at a very young age. He moved several times growing up and would spend most of his time working on his films. Steven Spielberg exemplified leadership and left a lasting legacy in the movie industry. Through his early innovation of computer-generated imagery effects, he revolutionized how it is used. He also directed and produced some of the greatest award-winning movies of all time, which set him apart in the industry and changed how others went about making movies. Lastly, he helped revive the animated movie genre with his partnership with DreamWorks Studios, with movies like Shrek that brought the genre back to life. Steven Spielberg used incredible special effects to bring his stories to life. Ian Freer once said in Steven Spielberg, A Celebration, "Where would Steven Spielberg be without the power of special effects? Well, $1 billion poorer, and probably about to start production on Dude, I still can't find my car." The genius of Spielberg has been inspired and fulfilled by those effects boys, but it was never going to be easy. Steven Spielberg filmed and directed in a time with limited technology, so sometimes he had to improvise. What he did accomplish was extraordinary. In E.T., Jurassic Park, and Jaws, he used animatronics to help with the special effects. The visuals and effects were ahead of its time and changed how the cinema business viewed this form of special effects. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, he used models and computer-generated imagery, CGI, to show the advanced aging of Donovan, a character that plays a Nazi. This has revolutionized how Hollywood now uses CGI effects today. CGI is used in most modern films and is a very large portion of today's movie-making process. This technology is now used to create most films and would not be as common or effective today without Spielberg's influence. Most films today use this technology, and without Spielberg, it would not be worth. Steven Spielberg is considered one of the most successful movie creators of all time. He once said, "You shouldn't dream your films, you should make it." He has created many popular films that seem to have made a wave of reactions from viewers. Motion picture producer, director, and writer, he is an American icon and household name with his hit movies such as Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Spielberg's first film was in 1974, called The Sugarland Express. It won critical acclaim and Cannes Film Festival Awards for Best Screenplay. His second movie, Jaws, was one of the biggest surprises of the film industry. The film had many issues and troubles during production, going over budget and past the schedule. There was disbelief when this movie became the highest-grossing film in the history of its time. Jaws remains number 4 on the list of top-grossing motion pictures in Hollywood's history. E.T. the Extraterrestrial was another turning point for Spielberg. It became the top-grossing film of all time. Huge crowds were drawn for this movie, about an alien that is left behind on Earth but is befriended by a boy who tries to help him. Over the course of his career, Spielberg won 126 awards from 231 nominations, including 3 Oscars, 2 times for Best Director, 7 Golden Globes, 3 times as producer, and 11 Emmys. Spielberg created some of the most popular films of all time. Even now, as a new movie-making technology is developed, Spielberg's movies remain among the most popular of all time. His movies have had a lasting impact on the cinema business for the past 40 years. Spielberg's ruled the box office during his career with many all-time great movies under his name. Spielberg's movies are all-time greats and are still popular today. Spielberg kept the animation world alive with co-funding DreamWorks Studios. He has said, "Well, luckily, with animation, fantasy is your friend." In 1944, Spielberg co-funded DreamWorks Studios. DreamWorks is an American film production company which produces and develops films, television programming, and video games. It was the newest movie studio in Hollywood in over 75 years. DreamWorks has become one of the most successful movie studios in the past couple of decades. The animated business was falling until Spielberg with DreamWorks re-piqued interest and allowed the genre to still be popular today. DreamWorks competes with Pixar and pushes them to keep the bar high. Most of the computer-generated films and television series have now gained the studio a reputation for being focused on popular culture. 10 of its 27 animated features made $500 million worldwide, and 7 made $600 million. DreamWorks Studios has approached cultural influence with its hit movies, such as Shrek, Over the Hedge, Madagascar, Ants, How to Train Your Dragon, and many more. DreamWorks is often considered the next generation's Disney productions, meaning that DreamWorks will be childhood memories and classic films for the new generation, just as Walt Disney productions and films are often remembered as classics. His movies brought interest and excitement back to animation, and the animated movie market came back to life. Spielberg has given audiences new sensations time after time with his imaginative ideas and passion. He has even said, "I dream for a living. Once a month, the sky falls on my head, I come to, and I see another movie I want to make." Spielberg's style for directing and editing his films always brings out the best experiences for his viewers. He used his camera to bring the viewers closer to give them whatever the mood of the film is. Spielberg never forgot about sound and used editing to add to visual effects. He brought the audience into the movie and aimed to bring out the best emotions. In the renowned classic movie Jaws, Spielberg had actually come very close to failure, but pulled his way through it, despite what many people thought, using his brilliant ideas. In this film, the mechanical shark used to play a ferocious great white would break down every day. The movie is centered around the shark, and more technical difficulties would pop up. Most directors would have given up by now, but Spielberg adapted to the situation. He had to make huge changes in the script. Instead of filming the shark throughout the movie, he decided to base the movie on the fear of the unknown. This created the famous footage in the movie where you see the surface of the water and the Jaws victims pulled to the bottom of the surface. Spielberg's creativity pulled through with its suspense and is believed to be the reason why the movie is still so famous today.
Stephen, you have a vivid imagination, but could you ever have imagined a year like this year?
No, never.
Did you think that this film was going to be the kind of success it was? When you finished it, did you say, "I've done it"? Ah.
Well, I'll tell you what I did say when I finished it. I did say that I've done it for us. Because I remember my announcement to the crew and to the cast after the film was over.
What'd you say?
And I said, we have done something historic and important, and I hope it doesn't fall on deaf ears. I think if the film wins,
yeah,
it's a lot more important than if I win.
The film wins Best Picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the film winning Best Picture is going to honor not just the memory of all the chaos and destruction and annihilation of a race of people during the Holocaust, but it is going to allow, you know, the film to be seen even more, and in that sense, it's going to, you know, open more eyes than otherwise. I mean, I'm going to go through a real sort of, you know, struggle with the fact that when I made Schindler's, it did something to me that no other film I've directed has accomplished, and that is, it's given me a chance to really realize how powerful the whole medium of film is, how film can change minds and lives and can bring closure to people's lives.